Hello, good evening, and welcome to the stream. Yes, we are live from Rubi-ka. I'm just social mediaing in the background. As you do. Right, yes, we're all live. Everything's working. There we go. We go to the live screen. There we are. Oh. All good. All here. All present. And kind of correct. Right, time for beer o'clock. Right, what were we doing? I did a bit of NCU. Yes, I did do the NCU. Now time to do other stuff. We rebuff and we see where we go. But I also want to blitz down to the bottom of the temple and see if I can't snag myself a Stygian Desolator. See how things are going there. Hopefully we won't upset too many people running to the bottom of the temple like everybody does on live. Did I not do that mission? Did I not get to it? I thought I got to it. Weird. Okay. Well, we'll do the quick blitz first. Someone was posting 2 free for all. Oh, let's go. Maybe, yeah, could be. I do not have a massive amount of run speed here. Ungoliathan, welcome to the stream. That's how I've decided to pronounce your name this evening. It's probably incorrect, but there we go. TS 1966, welcome on Heron. Or Hero. Bin Zion, welcome. If you need the size, nah, I kind of want this Stygian. It's the go-to weapon. Ungo works too. Ungoliath. Ungoliath. It's just like, no, I do not know this word. Or name. Other than you belong to it or it belongs to you. Oh, I can see a corpse. I like your pronunciation, my abomination, you mean? Yes! Your two-hand edge is required to be 434. Yeah, we're a little ways off, yeah. Your fast attack is required to be 245. Yeah, I'm gonna need the vengeance buffs, aren't I? Time to do a bit of shopping, maybe? Right. Go to the Keeper Nano vendor. Get a big fast attack buff. But yes, I so want to get this on. It's such a nice weapon around the, you know, 20 to 50, 20 to 60 plus. Pretty good up to 100 as well. Although a Panther is nicer. Mind you, I can now, I think, after the missions we've done, I can go for some much better implants. Maybe. Gotta make the money. What dungeon are you doing? I wasn't. I was running into a dungeon to get stuff. And I got it. I got the Stygian Desolator. Yar. That was a very small agent or something that just went whizzing past then. Jeez, we up to Ruse 3 agents already? Wow. Nice. I got stuck on my trader. Oh. So we want big ass fast attack buff, and keepers get those. So Fervor of the Henchman is the first one. And I don't know if it goes any bigger. Decision Maker. That's 255 Sense Imp Psycho Mod. No. We only got a while to go. Fervor of the Henchman we can do. Sanctifier. Which one was this? Is this the Sanctifier is the extra hit, isn't it? And then Sidestep. Yeah, we're not casting that yet. Ambient Restoration. What are we running currently? Excuse me. I think it's the basic ambient. Oh no, ambient restoration, ambient alleviation. Oh, I think we can do that. That is healing. Yeah. Psycho mod is required to be. Your biomet is required to be. Yeah. Bit of nope, not enough nano because of cancelling nanos on a keeper. Hard work. Right, so we should be able to. Yep, there we go. You don't have enough nano pool. Damn. Can I? I can't nano thingy here. Got that one, and then further. I have to cancel the nano programming one and then use that one instead. Time to level up, I think. Crippler Cave. Knockout Spec 1. Yeah, I was thinking that. Right, so Nano Energy, we'll just get the basic one. And Coil of Health, same. But First Aid. 104. Yeah. First Aid. $93. I think that's going to be it. Only 30. No. Okay, so I'm going to pop you there. Drop these down to the bottom. Draden, welcome to the stream. Yeah, actually, we could go a bit longer way and knock out the Spec 1 books. And then obviously I want to do the Elysium quest eventually. Get ward from the garden. Need to do a lot of things in between. Trade and repair, need to improve. Comp lit, get some more NCUs on, but god damn they're expensive. Can I get further on? Yes. Fast attack plus damage, nice. Yeah, I haven't done any spec books yet. Have ward you can have. Ooh. Oh, that would be appreciated. That'd save me doing that damn quest with effectively 1k faction. But spec 1, someone said they should do it. God's favourite ant, but I think maybe I should as well. And Shadow, welcome. And God favourite ant, welcome to the stream. Should get a flurry of blows as well. Nope. That'll be the odd we want. It is. Chapter 1. There we go. And that, which we won't be taking. Oh, people doing Adonis hacks already. God damn. Chapter 2. Nice. Chapter 4. Just chapter 3 to collect. Happy the music is working this week, or this stream. It wasn't on the last one, it bothered me. More than it should, probably, but it did. Outdoor surgery clinics bother me conceptually. I can only think of one, and it's in wine. I would imagine they'd want something like that, or it would be developed for wartime. There's one in Klondike as well. Yeah. There might be, yeah. I know there's one in wine. But there ain't many. Book one. No book. Oh, thank you very much. Ward. You need more than you have, and also more nano pool than you have. But thank you. Oh, they've gone. Oh, I can't cast it yet. How did I upload it if I can't cast it? Oh, wait. I'll suss it out in a minute. Yeah, need to cancel that one. Then... alleviation level from 25, that's the bigger heal. Oh, target does not have NCU. Let's cancel that. Target does not have NCU. Cancel that. Now we got it. Must get better NCU. What? I can't. Why can't I use what? Oh, there you go. It was just bugged. Right. Getting another beer already. Back in a min. Yeah, there's one in wine, and I can remember people would pull the ninja droid guy up off of the beach and then stand by it and just heal with that. So they put like a timer on it. Or made it so you can't be in aggro or something anyway. They changed it. That's what I remember. But it's quite a handy-dandy thing at the time. People were like, well, it must be intended. Why is it here? Otherwise, you know. Another 4. Always the way. You need a 3, you get a 4 or something else. We'll get a 3. We will get one. Yay, there we go. Yeah, there we go. We done it. We done it. We'll go hand it in. Quite painless. Clearly we require more NCU space than we have. But at the moment, I think I've got the startup NCU, which gives 3, and that one, which gives 10. We're way behind on NCU. Auto name is a popular name in Job. Oh, yes. Metal swimsuit. I don't remember picking that up, but okay. Ah, yeah. I can see why you people might want that, but sorry, everyone. They're so common, one mission could give you 5. Oh, really? Six old NCU. What's the requirement for them? Because I don't have a lot of skill at the moment. $62 comp lit. Oh, I could wear those. But that mustn't be that much comp lit then. Is these... Oh, you mean quality 62? What's the comp lit requirement? I have something to give you. $62 comp lit. They must be lower quality than that one then. But it's better than that one. Goodbye. There we go. Right, okay. Well, I'll come to New Land then. Six NCU, yeah. After this kill, I will go to it. Yeah, what's the comp lit on the Leon or whatever nanos? NCUs, I can't remember. 225 for the 5 slot, which is brilliant. I'm just going to see what price they are in Old Athens. 145 for DMs. That's pretty good. $141. I'm not far off that. Go check out a clan store, see if it's cheaper. Usually is. Can't get those. Leanne is camped to buggery. Yeah, I can imagine. Excuse me. And your very good health, everyone. Chuck D, Schlancher, Skull, etc. Oh, if they were going to be anywhere, they should be in there. Yeah, we've only got the basicest of basic ones. Try an advanced. I mean, normally what you do on live is do the email quest. I get 3 slot and 3 NCUs straight away for free. It's quite handy. So they're 39 NCU. 8. We can do better. We can do better. If I use... Oh, can't. I have to... I'll have to make room for it, but... Neb, welcome to the stream. There's those. Which one? 173. Max NCU 21. But they cost 40k each. Oh my god. Let's see what else we can find. Yeah, missions for cash. Yeah, totally get that. Nileb is not usually camp for his memory. It's usually the cloaks though, isn't it? Most people want the cloak. Superior, not gonna happen. It'll be too high. Whoa, yeah, they're a little high. I thought by now everyone had their cash. I don't know what you mean by that. Is there a new cut? What the fuck are you talking about? I have no idea. Yep, Lobby stuff. This is Project Rubi-ka. This is the 18.4 build of the game. If this was live, it would be money no object. Uh-oh. Yeah, your personal character only has that, yeah. That was a thing in 2001. But people will just roll mules to hold money. So, yeah. Doesn't mean anything. On live, you would not believe the prices for things on live. We went there on the last stream, which was Wednesday, right? Project Rubi-ka is ICC Shuttleport, Shadowlands, no AI, no boxing is allowed, no automation of any kind is allowed. It's a whole other thing. Easy to join, easy to set up. You literally... Right, so, there you go. That's the main website. So I'm playing on the server they have running, which is an eternal open alpha at the moment. If you're near Jove Harbour, I can give you a NCU buff. It was more just getting NCU so I can buff the character while I'm playing it. That is very cool. But, yeah. Is the weekly alien party. Right. Number 1. No such thing. Number 2. What it was part of the Jane Jet storyline run by Space Quest, who is an ARC. It wasn't anything done by Funcom whatsoever. It wasn't an alien party. It was Arc doing storylines, which, yes, you could get Alien XP from. They stopped when Funcom disbanded Arc, which was a couple of years ago now. They just deleted all volunteer programs in all their games. Yeah, so that's one and done. That's been gone for a couple of years now. And the way Funcom did it was kind of shitty. Don't mind saying that, but it was. They announced that there was no more Arc before speaking to Arc, which, you know, was not the best. I'm going to get two of them. Right, okay. Yeah, I went on live on Monday, right? Guess how much it was for a Grace? The buy orders for Grace on GMI. Have a guess. Project Rubi-ka is completely free to play and will always be free to play because they do not own the IP, Anarchy Online. Funcom know about the server. They're cool with it. It's not the full game. It's completely free. There's no monetary value attached to it, etc. So as far as they're concerned, 4 bill, 10 bill, 20 bill, oof, way too low. The highest buy order, I shit you not, for a Grace was 1.7, get this, trillion. Let that sink in. How many zeros that is. There was a buy order for that amount. If you think I'm joking, we'll I'll show you. You guys will. Do you want me to show you? I'll show you. Let me close out a game here. I will show you. Yep, for a Grace. What's a Grace? A Grace is 30 days game time. So I'll start the live client. Here we go. Excuse me a sec. Where the hell's the password gone? Honestly, it'd blow your mind. Absolutely blow your mind. Oh, what did I do with that password? I thought I put that somewhere safe. Yeah, this is nuts, guys. I'll just log into live. Both my accounts are active. Duped creds. Yeah, duped items sold for creds or whatever system they use. No, that's not it. I thought that was it. Is that not it? I guess that's not it. Did I not save it or whatever? Nope. What the hell? It's just weird. Let me find the password. I've got it somewhere. Yeah, I think that one's it. Yeah. Okay. So here's my very old main, as in this character's 25 years old, near enough. And we will go to there. Take Shine, or Take Cheyenne, has followed. Thanks for the follow. So here we are. We're at the guild. Let's go in the grid. Yeah, so if this was on live, that character would have... would have absolutely everything they need. Yeah, it's not real money. Can't possibly... Yeah, but people... It's duplicated items, Dave. You know, people generate credits by duping an absolute shit ton of stuff. So we'll go on GMI now. We'll go search. We will search Grace. There we go. 1 trillion 544 billion 400 million credits for a Grace. Yeah, you don't need the Grace and the GMI. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Look, 1.5 bill, 1.5 bill, 1.5 trill, 1.5 trill, a trillion, 468 billion, and then it goes down from there. But yeah, 1 trillion credits. So if we look at commonly sold items, look at this stuff. So if we look at, I don't know. Yeah. Let's search for Dust Brigade chess piece. High-end item, yes. Okay, 1.2 billion. Combined sharpshooters. Let's look at that. Right, sharpshooter's jacket. 4 billion. They're just the buy orders. That's what people are willing to pay for those items. Yeah, the mailbox to GMI. Would you go nuts? What, 1,000 emails? You just go bonkers. It's just ridiculous. But there we are. That's where the live game is at. The economy is utterly broken. Because Funcom didn't do anything about some automation and whatever else. Yeah. There's definitely stuff has gone on. There's no two ways about it. Now, I do have a lot of money in the game. And yet, there's no way in hell that economy is worth engaging with for me. It's just like, that's nuts. How many players? I think there's probably more players on this server than there is on the live server. Actual players, because you can't multi-box here. There's 223 players currently active here. Now, even if you assume all of them are dual logged, which you can do, and I'll bet money they're not, it's still bonkers, you know? You know, any new player starting on the game goes, oh, I want to buy something. They're going to look at that. They're going to look at that and go, holy balls, forget it. I will never have that much money. Do I have enough now? 131, yep. Lowly, yeah, but people have 32 accounts and stuff. It's nuts. And they play them at the same time. I mean, it's just bonkers. It's just that the live server economy is complete and utterly broken. Yeah, and that's what I like about this server. I know there's tons of people that are well-meaning and do no harm with their boxing, try to help people out. But at the same time, there's a ton of people who are total arseholes and, you know, want nothing more than to just dominate the game and sell the loot to keep their accounts going. Unfortunately, that's the reality. But those prices are just, you know... What wrists do keepers get? Where's keeper in here? It's over there. Right wrist, parry, which is deflect, which is fucking useless. Left wrist, run speed, nothing much out. No. Okay, so the wrists on keeper are crap. Right wrist, pistol. Parry, shiny, one-hand edge, doesn't have anything else in it. Left wrist, multi-melee, don't need. Fast attack, left hand, that could be good. I got one, level 20. I hope they don't pay 30 subscriptions a month. Yeah, they probably do. That's just the thing, they probably do. Fast attack and first aid. Okay, what about keeper then? Left hand, fast attack, first aid. So quality 30, quality 50, wants 104 stamina. Which I don't have. I haven't got the general what's it buff. I should get that. General abilities buff. Composite attribute boost. Yes, we should definitely have that. Which gives us... Not enough. Not enough. Easy fix. Go level. This is the way. Yeah, so the live economy is just like, wait, what? What the hell is this? Oh, God. It's cancelled the wrong one. Don't you need expertise, not boost? Yeah. what I bought. Oh, attribute boost. Damn it. I bought the wrong nano. I think you're right. Is it 20? Is it higher? Composite attribute boost. No, composite attribute boost is plus 12. Expertise is all the others, I think. Yeah, they're all plus 20, but the other one is only that. I think. If we look again, composite attribute boost, that's the one I got. It gives plus 12, combat plus 20, medical plus 20, melee got plus 20, nano plus 20. I think that's the one that does now plus 20. All the others do. In every stat. Yeah, I don't think I've... Unless there's like a nano can for that, but nano cans are not a thing here. So you can get computer literacy expertise, but it's overridden by one of the trade skill ones. Yeah, I thought it was... I know what you're thinking. No, they're all plus 20. Yeah, except for abilities. Attributes is 12, skills are 20. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. But that made me go, oh no, I bought the wrong damn nano. Sol is trading with me. A shade. In a med suit. Hey, hi. Head on. That's me. What, you want to trade me something, or? Ooh, NCU. I've got better already. You've been watching. See, plus 8, plus 10, and plus 8. I appreciate it. I do. Fury. Is that a... Okay. Nano cut. Quality 50. I can't cast that. Level from 50. Oh my god, hang on. Let me put this in a bag. I appreciate it. I do. Yeah, we're going to go level. Not yet, but eventually. Shade wants some credits. Nope. Thanks, dude, but not today. What have I got? Oh, I've gone the wrong place. How much for that NS? What, neuronal stimulator? I think you can buy it in shops and stuff. I don't think it's an issue. And if not, you can certainly roll it, I think. In Blind Neo, I am evening folks and lurking as I'm playing PRK. Audio will absolutely confuse me, but there you go. Yeah. Is it? Yeah, is it Elysium? No, it's Elysium Nano, isn't it? Eli Sanctuary? Is it? I'm not sure. I had it before the last wipe on one character or another, but never got to use it. Or IPS. Yeah, it could be IPS, but it's NT, isn't it, to cast? Whereas on live, it's NT, Bureaucrat, and MP can cast it. So, yeah, Maulers and stuff, yeah. Yeah, the 18.4 version, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's more limited. It was NT only, I think. And it's difficult for me to sort of think back and forth to which era of AO things worked or how they worked in that particular era, if that makes sense. So I'm like, oh yeah, but before Lost Eden and 18.7 changed so much. And you had to relearn it, like what nanos you could use and whatnot. It was bonkers. Well, no, an odd fact, the new Project Pantheon MMO has the leet sound for wildlife in that game. Do you know what the leet sound is? It's an elk. No, because you don't own elks. That wee sound isn't, I mean, it's modified, but yeah, it's actually a real animal, a big one. In fact, you would assume a much smaller animal by, yeah. So the sound for like roller rats and stuff is that. It's weird, but that's a sound abundant in nature. So if we do elk noises, elk, yeah, wait, that elk bugle sound. There's your roller rat. It's just been modified slightly, but that's what it is. Best werewolf sound ever is American Werewolf in London. Yeah, that's blood curdling. I don't know what the hell sound they used for that, but yeah. What's my goal now? Level up. go kill cripplers in the cave and level up a bit. Crypt cave, here we go. Yeah, a lot of the animal and beast and NPC sounds in games are actually borrowed from nature. So no one really owns them, you know. Nature owns them. Here we go. Yeah, 3-4 different animals. Yeah, probably, because it was all practical effects back then as well. That first transformation you see, when he's at Jenny Orgutter's character's flat, That's like all practical effects. There is no CGI. It doesn't exist when that movie's made, and it's incredible to watch. You know, it's deeply disturbing as well, but it's meant to be. You know? New combat music. Yeah, there was a slight change to the combat music when you fight in Shadowlands versus Rubi-ka. You have combat on Rubi-ka, you get the same old. Fight in Shadowlands, you get that that hi-hat that's panning left and right and all the other stuff. Getting a beer. G-suit for pilots. Fight inspired by giraffes. Yeah, kinda. Well, yeah, I mean, most things are inspired by nature. Because nature's already had, you know, so many billion years or 2,000 years to figure it out, depending what you believe. So, yeah. Like with the thing with the giraffe is because it's a mammal, it still only has 7 bones in its neck. Reptiles can have, and birds can have way more. That's why owls can turn their heads right round and such, because they've got way more bones there. Why butterflies can fly in rain. Yeah, you look at them big wings and think, no way. It's because their wings are agoraphobic, or whatever the word is. Water just goes, whoop, drops off immediately. Hydrophobic, that's the word, yeah. Yeah, if you drop water on butterfly wings, it goes, whoop, it's gone. It just rolls right off. Yeah, I'm not getting into that debate. Science is typically right because science requires that it be proved. That's what science is. It's a constant situation where you're constantly looking at coming up with a reasonable theory and then testing the result over and over and over again. It's not a belief system, it's a let's figure it out system. Fuck around and find out. But because it's science, write down your findings. You know. Yeah, with science, if we all died out and another species took over and employed science to figure things out, they'd get the exact same results we get. It's not about belief. It's about what you can prove. And it's always open to debate and being disproved. It's never an absolute truth. It's always, this is as far as we've gotten. You know? What weapon am I using? A 000 weapon. Sword of Excalibur. It's only a quality 25. I should have made a higher quality one. Pig Goggles, no clue. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, there's like 4,000 different religions in the world, and mostly people choose just one of them, and that's fine. If you want to do that, that's fine. I just believe one less than you then, you know. You know, if you believe in a religion, you therefore don't believe in the others. So 3,999 you don't believe in, but you'll believe in one. I just believe in one less. That's all. As a percentage, that's tiny. You know what I'm saying? So. There's room for both in an open mind. Yeah, some people do need to believe in things. You know, we're taught that from an early age. The Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus, stuff like that. But we need to believe in that in order to believe in other things like integrity, honor, loyalty. Because if you ground the universe up into the tiniest possible quark or quantum particle, you wouldn't find any, but we believe in it. So it's a necessary thing. XP! Let's do suggested. How does that look? That looks good. Yeah, if someone wants to do that, I'm not tolerant of it. I accept it. Acceptance is a better state to have on someone else's beliefs. That damn Tooth Fairy did me. Yeah, but we're brought up to believe in these things. You know, that it's practice for believing in the unprovable and unintelligible that is required. Raziel Watchstreak is on a 20 stream streak with the Harkonnen. Is it Harkonnen or is it Harkonnen? That's the big debate tonight. What did Herbert say it was? Is it Harkonnen or is it Harkonnen? He was actually involved in the 1984 movie, but it was seriously cut. Yeah, justice and fairness. You can grind the universe up into its smallest possible particle and you won't find a single, you know, particle of justice and fairness. But we believe in them. Hopefully. Not everyone does. Some people believe in me. Only Frank Herbert truly knows. Yep, that's the thing. Harkonnen. Yeah. That was the thing between TOS and TNG. and DS9 was in TOS, the Klingons spoke Clingonese. In the famous Trouble with Tribbles, they mention it. But then when we get to TNG and Worf, they are Klingon and they speak Klingon. Who's making the rules, you know? And Roddenberry was involved with TNG, so it's hard to know, isn't it? Blind Neo is from Pratchett. Oh, I love Pratchett. My favourite DS9 is where they revisit the Trouble with Tribbles in an episode called Trials and Tribulations or something like that, where they go back in time to that episode and invisibly blend with the original cast. It's so good. It's literally one of my favourite DS9 episodes. The Zeus Odin XP, he's like 3 books and still not obscure enough to have it without numbers on Twitch. Yeah, there you go. I mean, in that show, I mean, the Klingons are loosely based on Vikings. You know, die in battle, go to Sto-vo-kor. Rather than, you know, dine with Odin in Valhalla. You know, it's very, very similar. Google tells you, yeah, Google doesn't know shit though. Especially Google AI. Google AI just pulls. You got to remember, AI is not AI. It's PA, plagiarism algorithm. So it pulls information from Reddit threads that got too involved or whatever, and presents it as though it came up with it. That's what AI does. It's a plagiarism algorithm. It's not artificial intelligence. Its intelligence level is that of an amoeba. Stimulus, i.e. input, response. That's it. That's all it's got. Nothing else. It's a big old bubble that is gonna burst. Yeah, token weighting, that's just algorithmic plagiarism. That's all it does. Yeah, but in order for it to function, it has to steal data from elsewhere. It can't create it. You know, the nitty-gritty of the mechanics is not incidental. It is subtle and it does matter. But ultimately, what it's doing is stealing the information from elsewhere and presenting it as its own answer. It's not going to solve anything. It's going to borrow someone else's solution, present it as its own solution. After the bubbles burst, the lawsuits will start. That's what I'm telling you now. That's my AI prediction. With limited intelligence, that would be me, predicting the future. So once the bubble bursts and the big money's not there anymore, what you're going to see are people going, wait, that was my idea and I can prove it from da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. And you're claiming your AI came up with it, but it just plagiarized my idea. And then the lawsuits start, and then the arse end of the whole thing really falls out, you know? Yeah, they went after it because they go to these suits go to meetings and are told this piece of software for a fixed cost can do the same job as 20 people or whatever, right? And all they can see in that is shareholder value. Oh, we can deliver more value and make more money by not paying people to do those things. You know, back in the days of old, we thought that you know, the robots would do the menial jobs so we could do the esoteric jobs, but it's actually gone the opposite way. You know, if you want to pour concrete and build something or do anything like that, then that has to be done by people, whereas art, movies, music, etc. is done by the AI. It's arse about face. Quantum computing, yeah, it's kind of impressive, but it all relies on stealing a person's thoughts and ideas. It's a plagiarism algorithm. That's what it is. You know, every time you did one of those capita things like prove you're human by discerning these squiggly lines over text or, you know, kind of wibbly wobbly numbers and letters, we were teaching an AI, plagiarism algorithm, how to read text. So they could digitize printed word. Corporations that went, yeah, they are. They don't know it yet, but they are. Yeah, quantum computing is kind of a dead end for now. I don't know. I don't know enough about quantum computing. How does it differ from regular computing? Moore's law died, you know, all these other things happened. But it was driven by greed and a bunch of other stuff. Spooky action at a distance. Yeah, it's exploring new avenues of computation, certainly. But the general public are not ready for what it can do in its current state. Because, as you said, it has a bias. Like, you remember when NVIDIA went, oh, DLSS 5, and everyone went, AI slop. This is terrible. We hate it. And they went, no, you're wrong. And everyone went, no, we're not wrong. We're consumers and we don't like it. Yeah, kind of bonkers, but they tried to tell everyone that the DLSS slop was the future, and people went, well, I don't fucking want it. because it looks like AI slop, and they lied and said, no, it's done at this level. And then one of their developers came back and went, no, it's AI slop. It just looks at a 2D render and tweaks it like all AI does. You know, the cold chill of reality in the market is something that Nvidia felt when that happened. You can have the new GTX 888 million, but you can't communicate over galaxies. No. Simply because of transients. Yeah. It's weird, but what you have to remember, as far as a photon is concerned, the moment it's created to the moment it terminates against a surface and lands in your retina takes no time at all. No time has passed for that photon because it has no mass. All the AI execs are like sniffy their own farts right now. Yeah, the suits, dude, they don't... Yeah, they're just looking for a margin. They're looking for profit. And out of the scope of that glowing orb of profit, they don't see anything else. They just don't. The whole system's balked anyway. You can't have infinite growth, infinite margins, because we live in a finite universe. So there are only so many people on Earth. There are only so many resources on Earth. You can't infinitely make more money every year. Eventually you reach a point where you don't actually have anything more to sell, and there aren't infinitely more people to buy it. Doesn't work. But it doesn't stop them either. They pray to the gods of, you know, infinite growth and profit. But their thinking on it is get in, make profit, get out, go to the next thing. And yeah, a lot of these AI developers and companies have massively overpromised what their plagiarism algorithm can do. Spooky Action, he said, nothing can accelerate but the speed of light because infinite mass. Yeah. What about particles that are created at the speed of light? It doesn't actually make that much difference. How are we doing on stats now? Melee weapons, 227. Fast attack, 219. We've got miles to go. Yeah, the only particles that emerge at that level are photons, which have no mass. God particle, there's no such thing. If you're talking about the Higgs boson, that's just something that, as far as we understand it, was predicted 40, 50 years before it was discovered. Thankfully, Higgs was alive to receive the Nobel for that. There's a lot about the minutiae of the universe that we don't understand, and not all the models work, and there's a lot of argument about how it should work and doesn't work, and yeah, that's good, because it should be in that state. We should always be arguing about how it all works, otherwise, you know, we're not doing science anymore. We're all derived from hydrogen. Well, no, it's just that's the most common element in the galaxy, in the universe. It derived from it? Well, no, that's not accurate. Supernovas create heavier elements, and we're derived from those. Hydrogen is a part of it. You know, but yeah, we're back to the 70s. We're all star children, you know, because we're made of heavier elements, and they only happen when stars collapse and go supernova and stuff like that. Anyway, back in a minute. So when you think about a simple element like hydrogen, you know, it's only got, what, 3 parts or something like that? Then you kind of assume, oh, well, it's got X number of electrons orbiting around a nucleus. But in actuality, it turns out that the electrons dip in and out of quantum reality. Stardust is the debris of a supernova. So, as far as we understand the universe, it is believed, or it is understood, that those heavier elements are created when stars begin to collapse. They weren't created at the beginning of the universe. 99.9% of the universe is just hydrogen or helium. So, iron, zinc, copper, lead, uranium, all these other carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, you know, all these other elements are created after that fact. Hence, you're all made of stardust, being a thing that is said. Now, AI isn't going to figure this all out for us, because AI's actual intelligence is that of an amoeba. Stimulus, response. That's it. Now, it may give a complex response, but it is still stimulus and response. It has nothing else. And without its ability to plagiarize everything else out there on the internet, it literally has nothing. Everything up to iron is created in stars. Everything past that, up to uranium, comes from supernova. Yeah, that's the whole thing. As far as we know. You know, but as our observations increase, the more we learn. We learn that heavier elements were far more abundant early on in the universe. Galaxies were far more abundant early on in the universe. They don't fit the model that we had predicted for it. And that came from sticking, you know, the latest telescope up there and looking at stuff further and further back. It started showing us things that the models we had couldn't explain, which means, okay, the model is not correct and needs to be readdressed and thought about. All models are wrong, some are useful. Well, no, they're not all wrong. They're just our best understanding as far as we can observe the universe. What's our skills looking like now, anyway? Oh, yeah, we're getting up there. Yeah, that's looking good. Melee weapons. Yep. Element 151, that's another story. Yeah, I mean, we can artificially, inverted commas, create heavier elements by acting on existing heavy elements. Yeah, that's the thing, but we don't fully know that those don't occur in nature anyway, as in the universe doesn't make them. You know, when you've got two black holes orbiting each other, two singularities that are so supermassive, you can't even begin to contemplate their mass acting on each other. Anything that flies between could also be affected by them and also naturally create them. We don't know. You know, we're at the limits of our observable data. So we're at the point where we just can't see any further than we need to progress theories any further. Yeah, I mean, like, if you look at Newtonian physics, it's good enough to get you by, but it's not how things actually work. They have the mass of the star that made them, plus any other matter they've pulled in since. I don't mean they bend space-time and you end up with something more massive, but... And then these same black holes can be the culmination of several massive stars over millennia. You know, they suck each other in. We know that because we've observed gravity waves on Earth. We know that two black holes went round and round a centre of mass until such a point that they end up as one big lump. I mean, galaxies don't follow Newtonian physics. So you imagine the galaxy where, you know, it's spinning more quickly in the middle than it apparently is at the outside, but actually, it's not. Like, the whole thing is going at the same speed, but people assume we're going around in a perfect circle around the sun. We're not. The sun, the Earth, and every other stellar body is orbiting the sun around a common center of mass, and because the whole thing is moving in one direction, we're essentially moving in a huge spiral. You know, so, yeah, it's a weird thing to think about, but yeah. Two black holes went round the outside. Malcolm McLaren. He's got a lot to answer for. Notice this aggro, like, you actually fight the mob, drops after a few hits, and then you have to sort of re-engage it. The sun is over 99% of the mass of our solar system. The other planets have influence, but incredibly tiny. Yes, it is incredibly tiny. But it's not one thing going around the other. It's two objects orbiting each other around the center of mass. Now, given the sun is 99% of the mass, it's got the big, you know, it has the kind of greatest effect by a huge margin. But still, the rule applies. So effectively, as we observe it, the center of mass appears without sufficient decimal places to be the sun, but it's not. Yeah, is it Brawl that does it? I thought it was, yeah. So it's got to be something. Is it the mob's Brawl that breaks aggro? Or is it the players? Lagrange point. Yeah, well, that's where the latest telescope went to, was Lagrange point. So it could be outside of normal observable space and look far deeper into the universe. Not just brawl happens to your fixer all of the time. Is it possibly the mob has a brawl that's doing it? I'm done. Back to your game. Yeah, I know. I think that's the thing with AO, is people that play it tend to be people that question things and think. So naturally conversations go that way. Because the people that enjoy the game enjoy those conversations and ideas and speculation. AO is a group of players who are not satisfied with the simple for the most part. They're people that question everything, and you should always be questioning everything. That's a very healthy kind of position to take. No, if you're annoying me, I'll tell you are annoying me. So, but no, I find that from every AO stream, people think more deeply about things and question them, and we should, about everything and anything, you know. Why not question the universe and reality you find yourself in? Why shouldn't you question it? It would make no sense not to. That would be the sign of a simple mind, to just accept everything at face value. It's just not how it works for people that gravitate to a game like AO. Should be a more core subject in schools. Yeah, think freely, question everything, accept nothing as fact. You know, to a point. You have to accept certain things as fact. You know, if it can be proved and demonstrated time and time again, it's probably a fact. You know, like, don't jump off the roof, it'll hurt and you might break something. Depending on the geometry of your skeleton when it hits the ground. Probably a good idea to respect the gravity. Okay, we got a perk. We has the perk. Do we want to... Yeah, aura of a revival. Why? Because free hot heals you. That's why. Why is talking to every mob in Shadowlands like a drawn-out conversation with a coffee house slacker? Because they're all coffee house slackers. Clearly, that's self-evident. Yeah, in when I went to school, you were asked questions for math tests that were along the lines of 3 men get on a train. The train is moving at this speed with this many carriages. 2 carriages disconnect at this point in the journey and carry on. With the fewer, the train is now moving at this speed for this amount of distance over the journey. At what time will they arrive given blah, 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 blah. That's how mathematics questions worked. When I was a kid, you had to take the numeracy you were taught and apply it to a problem in the real world. Nowadays, it's pick answer A, B, or C. And we really dumbed down on education. We really have, as a species, and that's not a good thing. I'm guessing Gen X were the last generation that learned that way. Yeah, the multi-choice thing was a shit idea. You had to show in my day. In my day, we had to show why we thought this set of equations or these mathematical solutions applied to the problem, and then also show that we'd done them correctly to get a passing grade. Nowadays, it's like blah, 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 A, B, C. It's like you've got a 33% chance of getting the answer right with a complete guess. No working out. No, nothing has to be proven. It just assumes intelligence, so you get people that have, like, gone through college and yet they're thick as pig shit. They have no concept of what they've... It's just crazy to me. No worries, Gen Y had to supply the necessary arguments. Yeah, you had to say why you'd done what you'd done. And then explain the calculation, or show the calculation that you'd used to do it. That's how we used to do it. In other words, you could prove that your thoughts actually work. We had this problem with my father-in-law's, my father's been dead, gone 10 years now. My father-in-law's greenhouse. So I helped him build it. Reading the instructions, he put the door on the greenhouse, which slides back and forth rather than opens on a hinge. He managed to put it on upside down and back to front at the same time. And was convinced he'd got it right. Per the instructions. And I just looked at it for about 10 seconds and went, it's arse about face and it's upside down. He was like, no, it's totally right. Anyway, the whole thing blew over in like a minor kind of storm. And he said, I need help, securing it and whatever. But the base is like a U formation, so it's extruded aluminum, aluminum, whatever you want to call it, that stuff, yeah. And it's like a U shape. And he said, well, I can't put a bolt through it and bolt it to the ground because yada, yada, yada. You can't get a spanner in there. It's too small of a gap. And yeah, and I was like, yeah, no, I've already figured out how to do this. He was like, well, how are you going to do it? So I said, right, we're going to do, you've seen a question mark. Now imagine a question mark with right angles. So we're going to have this much length here, this much here, this much here. But the final length is going to be 10, a couple of like 2.5 mil or whatever longer than every other part of it. And he was like, how's that going to work? I said, okay, how does leaf spring suspension work? And he was like, it does. I said, yeah, but how does it work? And he didn't know. And he's a generation older than me. He's like boomer generation, okay? I've passed some sort of test. Yay! And I said, well, what I'm kind of designing is basically a leaf spring. So when the wind blows it now, there's 8 of these things, so 2 for each corner. So it goes like that, like that, like that. All those distances, so this distance, this distance, this distance are all the same. This one, like a third longer, let's say. I forget. Yeah, so I think it was 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 3.5. And he said, well, why make it that? And I said, because it will work like a suspension system. So when the wind tries to lift it, there's a constant tension because there's a bolt behind it, pushing it down like a hook. And the more it tries to do it, the more the others are engaged, and the whole thing acts like a suspension system. He was like, I don't know what that is. So we went to the ironmongery, because no one sells those. The thing I had in my head. Had them build it and out of stainless steel. The same stuff your sink is made out of, basically, you know. But they bent it and done it the way I asked them to. So it's like an inch this way, an inch that way, an inch that way, and an inch and a half this way, let's say. It was actually an inch and a quarter, but that's by the by. 10mm hole over here to put a bolt through it. And I put them down in all corners, and the wind blows on it and it goes. There's a constant opposing force every time the wind tries to move it. Sufficient force will move it, you know, because there's a limit to how much tensile pushback there is from each of those things, you know. And it ended up that we did all that and the whole thing, and I said, let me rebuild the base, because it was all out of kilter. So you know how it goes in anything structural. You're a millimetre out here, you're like 3 inches out up there at the end of the pole, you know. So I rebuilt the base and made it perfect, and then rebuilt the entire greenhouse. And it looks like the picture of the greenhouse on the front of the instructions for assembling the greenhouse. And it hasn't moved a millimetre since I did it. He's mystified how I came up with any of that. God's favourite ant. Half of that is jumbled because of YouTube. Yeah, so it's just using simple Newtonian forces and a leaf spring, which is exactly how a leaf spring suspension system works. So the wind pushes, it's not rigid, but it's pushing back for the same Newtonian force. You made a bracket, kinda. So 250 mil, 250 mil, 250 mil, 350 mil. With a hole at that end bolted solidly into concrete slabs. So this end can't move, but there's a constant tension pushing back, holding it down. I just can't believe you can't buy these things, you know? Damped harmonic. Yeah, well, that's how suspension works. It does go to harmonics. That's how it works. So the springs cancel out the harmonics. So instead of bolting it down rigidly, everything is held down under tension, and it's a constant tension, and the greater the force against it, the more it pushes back. So, yeah, that. Replace the coil over shot. Yeah, well, yeah, basically, yeah. But I did it in my head, drew it, went to the ironmongers and said, can you make me 8 of these? So you got corner, 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 corner. The whole thing is like, whatevs. It's completely stable again. And I think that's the difference, is the generation I grew up in can do that in their heads. Go to someone that can make it from the material required. It has to be stainless steel. So it's got to be stronger than the material the thing is built out of, and also not decay in the atmosphere and yada, 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 yada. And they were like, yeah, we can do that. And the guy that was making it went, oh, so you're making a tension leaf spring system to keep the thing on the ground? I was like, yep. And he was like, yeah, totally get where you're going. Blah, blah, blah. There you go. They'll be ready in 3 days. And that was literally the whole conversation. I'm going back to Newland. I made a bracket. I did, but it's not a rigid bracket. It may appear rigid, but it's actually a sprung bracket. So the spring bracket works like the suspension in your car works, minus the dampers. I didn't put dampers into it, so it's like a simple leaf spring suspension system. But it works, and the thing hasn't blown over. I put together a system of winches, chains and ramps from off of the shelf components at Harbour Freight so my wife could get her mechanic's toolbox onto the back of our pickup truck. Happy wife, happy life. That's one constant in the universe, by the way, that doesn't need much physics to prove. Right. Yeah, I made a bracket. Yeah, well, a bracket would have been completely rigid and not under constant tension. What I made was a bracket that is under constant tension and always pushes back. It's like having a bungee holding a lid down. It doesn't matter how hard you blow, even if the force that's blowing the lid is greater than the retraction force of the elastic material, because it's constantly pushing back, it never opens the lid. Yep. So it's like suspension system. Anyway, right, I'm going to leave it there. Is anyone else streaming Anarchy Online? I'm kind of curious. I'm guessing it's me and Rubi-ka live feed, but let's go take a look. Yeah, but I came up with that in the middle of, like, putting the bloody thing back together after it blew over. I said, no, I know what we need to stop this happening again. And it 100% worked. So, I'm quite happy with that. Yo, Jam Bonis? Who's this? Chicago. Oh. Shit store-bought pizza, but okay. Not their fault. I have no idea what their stream is like because all I'm seeing are adverts. Thank you for that, Bezos. Did you not make enough money this last couple of seconds? Right, so, ignoring the big fucking great pop-up, does the guy have a microphone? I'm not hearing anything. Oh god, piped music. Alright, yeah, forget it. Does not look good. No, that's, I'm sorry, but to me, when someone's streaming, you should be able to engage with the person that's streaming. Is that weird? Is that too much to ask? Because, I wonder. Because sometimes it feels like not. I thought the whole point was you were playing a game but talking to a person. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, we're not going there. No wife but constantly happy life. Well, one man's meat, another man's poison, all that. But if you enjoy a monogamous relationship with a female, then the truth of that is happy wife, happy life. Not gonna lie. Right, I'm gonna leave it there. I've got work at stupid o'clock tomorrow, so I've got to go. I may not. Schrodinger's stream tomorrow. Depends how tired I feel after working and then everything else during the day. So until then, love you all. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the resubs. I will see you in the next one. Until then, love you all. Bye for now.